Joining me now, legal affairs commentator and civil rights attorney Areva Martin. Thanks so much, Areva. Good to have you.
Hi, Jim.
So let's presume that federal authorities continue to refuse to share materials with state authorities here. Is there any way for state authorities to proceed with an investigation?
It's going to be very difficult, Jim. Clearly, if that federal agency violated Minnesota criminal statutes, there would be the probability or possibility that he could be prosecuted by state prosecuting attorneys. But given that the FBI, the Homeland Security, the federal agents have decided that the state agencies will have no involvement in the investigation, it's going to be almost impossible to bring a criminal case against an officer when you don't have access to the very evidence that's needed to investigate the case.
Is there a possibility of a civil prosecution then if you can't proceed criminally?
No doubt. And I would expect, and as a civil rights lawyer, I hope that there is a civil rights violation, federal violation, filed by Renee Goode's family, because what we saw on those videos, and clearly an investigation has not been completed, but we have heard several eyewitnesses say that she was trying to leave the scene, that she was veering away from the officers. So I think just even on the face of what we have seen to date, there's enough there for a prima facie case for a civil suit to be filed on behalf of Renee Goode's 3 children who now are left without a mother.
Can state prosecutors or even the family of Goode or others take a case to federal court? I mean, does federal court have any jurisdiction over federal investigators to order them to share these materials, or no? Is there no recourse?
Federal courts are not going to order federal law enforcement agencies to turn over information to state prosecuting attorneys or state agencies that are trying to conduct a criminal investigation. It's just not going to happen. The federal agencies are going to claim supremacy clause immunity, and in most cases, that's going to be sufficient for that federal court to determine that the federal agency has the jurisdiction over the investigation. Now, however, when you get to a civil suit, the stakes are a little different and the rules are different, and that family will be able to go into federal court, file a civil rights violation, a complaint alleging civil rights violations, and use the discovery processes that are available to civil litigants to seek information and to move forward with the lawsuit for damages. Again, we're not talking about criminal prosecution.
Yep. The Vice President, J.D. Vance, said earlier that the ICE agent had, quote, absolute immunity. Is there any basis for that statement or claim?
It's more of the rhetoric that we've seen coming out of this White House. There's probably some truth to the fact that supremacy clause immunity is going to be asserted by the federal agencies. And in all likelihood, knowing what we know about our federal court system, particularly our Supreme Court, the federal agencies, federal agents and agency is probably going to prevail. It's unfortunate that the vice president, the president, the Homeland Security secretary have all predetermined the facts of this case without any, at this point, substantial level of investigation. It's very sad to use words like domestic terrorist for a woman that was just dropping her 6-year-old kid off at school, who's been described as a mother, a poet, and a kind and loving U.S. citizen, important to note, who was not under any kind of investigation by ICE.
And by the way, with statements that are easily controvertible by video proof, for instance, the president said that the agent was injured, had to be rushed to the hospital. We see him on video walking away, appearing just fine. Areva Martin, thanks so much for joining.
Thanks, Jim.